Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody, let's update our view on the euro currency. So Friday performance, well, from the one point of view it was successful to us because we've got the bounce down on the PPI report as we suggested and as we discussed in the beginning of the video on Friday, some advanced technique to out of the position around the confluence areas. So this bounce has happened. It was more than enough to decide any questions with the short positions that we've got on Thursday and Wednesday, but at the same time it was not quite successful because later I could see that context has changed, at least the short-term context. It makes no impact by far on the major downside tendency, but recent performance suggests that we could get a bit higher pullback before situation will change. So beginning of the next week we will start from the monitoring of the intraday reversal pattern, and we will keep watching on it as for the purpose of the higher upward bounce, upward action, as for the purpose of the possible failure, because as a proper functioning of this pattern as its failure is the source of the direction, and it's useful in any way. Before we turn to intraday charts, I would like to show you a very interesting chart. It is not really typical because we're rare taking a look at the really high time frames charts. Usually we are limited with the monthly time frame, and if you take a look at the monthly and weekly chart, you see nothing interesting there. Some wobbling action for the whole of the year, almost since the February of 2023, in range between 106, 112, bringing no direction. Seems not very interesting, but if you increase the time scale and you'll take a look, for example, on the 3 months, which is a quarterly chart, you will see interesting picture, and I will show you right there. So that is the 3-month chart on euro currency, and we have clear bearish grabber right there. Needless to tell that this grabber perfectly fits to the fundamental background right now, and since the previous lows to the left of this grabber stands right here, it suggests drop below the parity on the euro currency. It not necessarily will be straight downside continuation, but at least some wash and rinse of these levels should happen. Second interesting moment on this chart is that we have straight downside sell-off on the butterfly. Once market hits 127 extension, we have retracement somewhere to the 618 of the whole butterfly action, but it still keep valid the possible 1618 extension move, especially from the grabber on the board, which stands around 90 even. 90 even, our long-term destination that we discussed is almost more than a year already, and keep it valid. So when we're speaking about the euro tendency, especially in longer term, we always have to keep in mind this pattern. It will be cancelled only if market will move above 112, 113 area. But currently it seems that the tendency is going in a different direction. That's, I think, very important for the long-term picture. It brings no actually use to us in the short term in our day-by-day work, but it's quite important for fundamental analysis and for the longer-term perspective. So now let's go back to the lower time frames. So what we intend to do, take a look what we have on the daily chart. We have sharp upward pullback from the 618 support. Daily trend has turned bullish. Right now here we do not have any bearish directional patterns. It means that our daily context and daily intraday context stands bullish, and we could consider currently only bullish positions. Now the major question is whether to consider it. And from that standpoint, we intend to keep an eye on the pattern on the fall time frame chart. I suggest that it should be the bottom of the head and shoulders. Besides, here to the left we have the butterflies 127. We thought It's later will go to the 1618, but recent statistics that we've got has broken these plans, and especially collapse of retail sales in the United States, and you can see what has happened. So we have significant upward bounce. Formally, the butterfly that I will show a bit later on the hourly chart is not erased yet totally, so nominally it's still valid. But the recent performance makes it really fragile to rely on it, and I wouldn't do this right now. Prefer to see what will happen next. Special reaction on the PPI on Friday was very short-term. The market hasn't shown downside continuation, show a real sharp return right back up, which seems like the short-term bullish context. So this hand shoulders pattern is useful for two directions, as I said. If it starts working properly, it should trigger deeper upward direction, stronger upward direction, and from that standpoint, we consider forming of the right arm of this pattern somewhere around 107.30, 107.50. It's equals to the left arm after market completes the neckline. So first it should reach some neckline, narrow round neckline, then we will be watching for a pullback and see how it perform in general. If we see the collapse and failure of the hand shoulders, which is actually our second signal, it also will be handy. It's just because we will know that bearish context is still valid and we could consider taking short position. That in towards what we intend to do. So on hourly chart, you could see what has happened on Friday. This is reaction that we were waiting for to out of the shorts. So it's PPI numbers, but then you can see fast upside reaction. Currently to the upside, where actually neckline might be. First is a COP, it's 107.87 approximately. Next is the OP, around 108, 108.20 area, 108.20. So maybe market could stop somewhere in between because this will be the 50% resistance of the whole downward action. I don't know, but preferably if it will be for the bulls, it will be better if market will hit the OP, because it also will form in this case some kind of the bullish reversal swing, and then we will be watching for a bounce to form the right arm. Appearing of the right arm currently seems very likely. It's just because you could see that overall performance here is a bit choppy, so we don't see the straightforward upside acceleration. It's a bit choppy, gradual. So from that standpoint, and the previous tendency is long term, so from that standpoint it seems that we have a good chance to get the right arm in place. That's what about the trading on the daily and 4-hour chart. Speaking about the bearish positions, I said we will not consider it until we see clear signs of the failure of this setup. For instance, if market will drop below the C point later. But here it's a very tricky moment. Be aware of the appearing of the cartridge triple to buy. For instance, if you're watching for taking the short position, you will see the market drops below the C. Well, it might be the signal that it will go lower, but in this case, it might be just cartridge triple to buy, A, B, C, D retracement. Market will form this cartridge triple 2 and then start upward direction. So be aware of that and just control this moment. Second moment is a scalp trading setup that we have. Take a look right around this area. You could see that minor hand shoulders might be formed. So this might be the left shoulder head, right shoulders will be formed. It will be the road to the OP, for example, some kind of the A, B, C, D. Here we already have the candlestick pattern, some kind of the evening morning star right there on the bottom. It's also potentially bullish, but this is very short term. I don't know whether this will be suitable to you or not. But mostly for trading on the 15-minute chart, I suppose. So that in towards what we have. Let's keep watching and see what will happen.